plays through the middle and the right side. That is the formula that they want to put on the Indy Ignite. Setter of the year, Sydney Hilly, national champion at Wisconsin, a champion in the Pro Volleyball Federation last year with Omaha when she was the most valuable player in the championship. Will serve, and we're underway. Abercrombie slowed. That ball right on top of the tape. Lydia Martin going over the top of Foster. Nice play by Ajani Teeler. Really good work at the defensive end, and then not good contact. Very interesting opening foray between these two teams. 2
balls to Abercrombie on the right for Orlando, but Indy Ignite cannot capitalize.
There is Lindsay Van der Weide. 6'3" outside hitter, played for San Diego last year, averaging 2.5 kills per set. Good at the defensive end, and Chayach her first swing. That will go down officially as a kill because of the net violation called against Orlando.
Indy talked about wanting to yo-yo the Orlando Valkyries with the serve, work them short and deep and seams.
Always love a good yo-yo. Nina Chayach averaging 3.1 kills per set in the performance she put out the other night. Brittany Abercrombie, but staying on Chayach for a minute. Holly, before first serve, you mentioned the 21 kills. 61% positive passing, which is astronomical, and also was served 56 times. So a tremendous load taken on by Chayach, number 23 in light blue. There is Natalie Foster.
68 aces on the season for the rookie Natalie Foster out of SMU. Just starting things off right.
We agreed one of the best serving performances we've ever seen at any level was in that match. 25 serves, only 1 error, and 6 aces. Absolutely dominated that particular matchup against Indy. 1 point, 1 ace, and Lydia Martin wearing that collar to prevent further problems with concussion. She's had several. And back healthy. Speaking of back, had an injection, an epidural in her back. She had a bulging disc at C5 and was out for a couple of weeks. One of the reasons why Indy struggled so mightily down the stretch. They were only 1-7 in their last 8 matches and barely got into the final 4 spot. Crawford, no, there's Ajani Teeler. That's her shot. Ajani Teeler down the line, first team all-conference.
So far, Indy Ignite taking care of their pass. When they pass well, Sydney Hilly distributes the ball on point. Look at that ball to the right side to Teeler for the kill.
Teeler 10 of 29 to go along with 10 digs in the semifinal upset of Omaha. Brittany Abercrombie once again MVP, opposite of the year in the Pro Volleyball Federation. What makes her so tough to stop?
The precision with which she attacks. This ball's a little inside behind the 3-meter line, and she attacks that deep corner between the 2 Indy defenders.
Nice dig by Anna DeBeer. Talked to her before the match, meaning DeBeer, and she is so happy to be back at 100%. Told me she needs some time off after that long season at Louisville. Nice smart play over the top by the inspirational leader wearing number 11, Kaz Brown, last year's most outstanding middle blocker.
Kaz Brown came out in the semifinals on fire, both defensively and offensively for the Orlando.
Yeah, really good point. 7 blocks for Kaz Brown, 11 of 18 attacking with no errors. Good step in by Teeler, and down the line, that's going to be out of bounds. Ball contacting the antenna off the spike from Anna DeBeer, and that's out of bounds. 3-0 run here for Orlando. We'll have a technical timeout when a team reaches 8 and also when a team reaches 16. Here is Courtney Schwann. Played the last couple of years in Italy. Very solid all-around performer. Right back there. Oh, misplayed that time by CeCe Crawford. Anna DeBeer with a pretty good high flat swing, and we've come to the technical timeout.
CeCe Crawford trying to be aggressive there, but falls short into the net. Right idea. Orlando up 8-3 early in this first set.
next to your girl on the kiss cam.
And this game just got a lot more interesting.
Sheila? Mom? And if you don't have the right home coverage, you might have to kiss your savings goodbye.
Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Chase Sapphire. Upgrade your travel and dining experiences with Chase Sapphire. By Dove. Keep her playing. Keep her confident. And by Franklin Sports, a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports Network.
The Valkyries of Orlando off to a quick start, 4-0 run, take the 8-3 advantage, and building Holly off their 3-1 semifinal win over the Vibe out of Atlanta. Hit 284, held Atlanta down to just 232, 25-18, 25-23, and then 25-18, 25-16. Very solid fourth set to close out the semi. On the back row to Chajic, piece of the top of the block, dug by Schwan. Oh, nice dig that time by Taylor off the deflection, but it was a net violation against the Indy Ignite.
Orlando head coach Amy Pauley told me before this match, when they're in a two-hitter rotation for Orlando, they're going to Indy, they're going to key on stopping Indy out of the back row to Chajic.
That ball just a little bit out of bounds. We've seen a couple of net violations. Everybody just a little bit jittery.
Trying to get those nerves out to get things started.
Here is Anna DeBeer, ACC Player of the Year, three-time All-American at Louisville, just a spectacular career, and suffered such a devastating, serious ankle injury in the national semifinals against the Pitt Panthers. Missed the first 6 weeks of the season, spent her entire time with the Indy Ignite, either in the training room or on the training table. And I talked to her about an hour ago, and she is absolutely thrilled to be 100%.
She sets up this free ball opportunity with a tough serve, and then one-on-one, big attack out of the back row for Anna DeBeer.
DeBeer 16 kills on 41 swings and passed exceptionally well also. Orlando continuing to look very, very smooth at the offensive end. Shampoo out of Thailand. She's played in Korea, Japan, and her native country. An outstanding veteran at the setting position. There she is on the far left of your screen. Looking at the receivers. Chajic going high hands, dug by Kaz Brown. Nicely done by the middle blocker. Chajic taken out of the play. Wonderful read by number 2 in light blue, Sydney Hilly.
Early in this season, I felt like Sydney Hilly was so dialed into running the offense that she wasn't calling her own number. But last couple of matches, she's been much more aggressive as an offensive player.
Had 59 assists in the semifinal, but most importantly, led her team to a 331 hitting efficiency. Off the deflection, that ball well in front of Crawford. Another kill for Abercrombie.
Orlando so far going off it to Abercrombie, and she's been working the edges of the block and finding ways to put the ball down.
Holly, she gets 30% of all the total attacks for her team, so we're going to be saying her name an awful lot. We might just go with BA to shorten it up. Good play by Shampoo. Stepping in is Clicker. That ball set a little bit wide, but a key swing for Van de Weyde, and the roll continues for Orlando in this opening set.
Orlando's serving the ball well, pulling Sydney Hilly off the net with a tough serve, and then the defense doing the rest.
Timeout is called by Indy, trailing 12-6, and there were several positional awards. Brittany Abercrombie, as we mentioned, not only the most valuable player, but also the most outstanding opposite. So let's take a look at the positional awards, and also Coach of the Year, awarded last night by my partner Holly McPeak. I guess I chimed in a little bit.
Caleb Anworth, Atlanta Vibe Coach of the Year, and then Brittany Abercrombie, Orlando's most valuable player. She's had a fantastic season.
Brooke Nuneviller was the outside hitter of the year for Omaha. The libero of the year was, of course, Morgan Hentz. The setter of the year was Sydney Hilly. Middle blocker of the year was Ali Bastianelli out of Grand Rapids. So they were the individual award winners. Let's go over to Madison Fitzpatrick.
Listened in on the Indy Ignite timeout, and Coach Pageant was saying, middles, we need to get up quicker. Timing on the block needs to speed up. We got to get high, start touching some of these balls, get some hands on it so we can transition to get a kill.
Thank you, Madison. You look at the offensive numbers, Indy really struggling. They're not receiving well. Remember the opening set on Friday, they passed 73% positive in the opening set there. 3 kills, 3 errors, 15 attempts. Orlando is hitting .538, 7 of 13, no errors. There's Teeler, magnificent out of the back row. Had a couple of foot faults in the semifinal, but they cleaned that up in practice.
They certainly did, and there's that first pass that gets in front of the 3-meter line, putting Sydney Hilly in the best position to run this tempo ball behind her.
3rd in kills, 4th in points during the course of the regular season for Ajani Teeler. And a very good blocker, one of the best in the league, even as an undersized outside. Chaich, beautiful roll shot.
Anna DeBeer made the extra effort, 1-arm stab off the block. Watch this transition ball going out to Chaich, who just perfect executed roll shot.
Dug by Scott, chance again in trans. Here's Teeler, she too goes off speed. Indy ahead in the point, and that ball's hit out of bounds. Nice tip that time by Teeler to give her team the advantage, and a quick response by Indy out of the timeout. Vanderwyde, positive pass, beautiful swing into the deep cross-court corner.
Really hard to slow Brittany Abercrombie down because she has all the weapons. She's got that sharp angle, and then that ball to the corner is indefensible.
6'2" opposite, played her college volleyball quite a while ago at USC, now in her 7th year as a professional, most recently in Turkey. Ajani Teeler again, 3rd in kills, 6th in blocks, 4th in points, having a tremendous all-around season.
Ajani Teeler had a little bit of a slow start Friday, but so far so good. Indy Ignite trying to get her going early.
Carried such a heavy load after Lekator member Mene went out of the lineup with that injured ankle. She is here in Las Vegas and looking forward to playing next year. Nice dig by Scott. Shampoo out of the play. Shannon Scully. Oh, what a dig by Teeler. Shannon Scully, 2 liberos deployed in the lineup. That is Courtney Schwann off the left side. Talk about the 2 libero system, if you will, deployed by Orlando.
First, I want to talk about Ajani Teeler on
that
block. She's so high, she needs to be disciplined with that press over the net. That ball was able to sneak low under her. But yes, Orlando Valkyries are using Shannon Scully as the serve-receive libero because of her exceptional passing skills, and then Emmy Klicka, the defensive player in the backcourt when they're trying to score defensively.
Scully just came in. She wears number 10 in the light blue jersey, and speaking of her numbers, 62% positive. And if she gets hit with a jump serve, she's at 74%. Right side again to Abercrombie. Very, very smart, but that was a double contact after the block, trying to throw that ball off of DeBeer and CeCe Crawford.
Orlando didn't think the left side blockers of the Indy Ignite could slow Abercrombie down, but Anna DeBeer, a very effective blocker. Really nice handwork.
There's the yo-yo. Back and forth you go. And just like that, Indy, once trailed 12-6, they're right back in it, down by 1.
That's the ball at the shoes. Then the next one flies high. But so far, so good on that effective yo-yo serve.
Martin working on Schwann, expert receiver. Nobody up.
That particular play happened often in the semifinal. You can't double commit. That left side blocker has to stay wide. And that was the plan for the Indy Ignite earlier. I'm not sure why that didn't work.
Wonderful pass by Chaich. Ball set a little bit too low. Schwann in transition. What a block. CeCe Crawford says no way.
Much more disciplined movement on the hands by CeCe Crawford and Ajani Teeler, making sure no balls are sneaking through that seam. Watch them work together to put up a wall for the Indy Ignite.
CeCe Crawford among the league leaders. Wonderful, again, wonderful passing this time, not only by Schwann, but Vanderwyde. Combination down the line, Kaz Brown.
Amy Pauley told me the name of that play, and I forgot, but I think it was the Terminator, and it's been very effective for the Orlando Valkyrie program.
It worked for me, as does the strut to the sideline at the second TTO.
wide or if Anna DeBeer is just trying to attack the line defensively.
That is a 4-0 run and some unusual hitting errors from number 14, who since she has become healthy after once again that devastating ankle injury that knocked her out of the NCAA championship, she will get back on track. We have got a timeout. It is 19-14. Opening set tonight at 7 Eastern. It's a can't-miss electric wheel battle as the world's best drivers face off. And where else but Monaco in the Formula E World Championship right here on CBS Sports Network. Looking at the numbers right now for Indy, hitting errors a problem. 6 kills, 5 errors, hitting only .042. A hitting error in volleyball nomenclature. Ball hit out of bounds, like Anna DeBeer has just done so, either out of bounds or into the antenna, or you are blocked for a point.
In Orlando, hitting .308. They've been very effective.
Let's go over to the sideline and Madison Fitzpatrick.
Well, those hitting errors that you were talking about, Paul, some of that is in part to the bad serve receive. They're yanking up their platforms. Coach George Padgett is saying, take your space, trust each other, but take your space and serve receive, and let's get a good pass to set up that offense to limit those errors.
Thank you, Madison. Coming out of the timeout, it was 12-6, then 16-14 at the technical timeout, so a 3-0 run. Lindsay van der Weide, very, very key. Stepping in for Adora Anai, who was a wonderful receiver. She was released the latter third of the season, so putting a lot of focus on Lindsay van der Weide, and she was certainly up to it on Friday. And now it's a small sample, but Amy Pauley concerned there. They passed only at 38% positive on Friday night in the semi, but still won.
Amy Pauley also said since the middle of the season, we've been working on doing better things on medium passes because they lost those passing numbers.
Van der Weide again good in reception, dug in the cross court. Teeler really playing good defense. Out of the back row, Abercrombie is dug once again. That's a very hittable ball. Roll shot again by Chaich.
Sydney Hilly scoops onto that ball, gets it out to Chaich on the left pin. Seen a couple very well executed roll shots to the middle of the court by her.
Chaich, 2 of 7, no errors. Spectacular in the semis. Medium pass, and that ball is tipped over the top, not going down against Scott. That ball just missed out of bounds by Chaich.
What a pancake dig by Elena Scott. She's back playing defense deep, but is able to come up with that short ball dig.
Scott also out of Louisville. Good size at the libero at 5'9", helps on the pancake and the stretch. 15 digs in the semifinal, but maybe most importantly, 73% positive in reception. Here's Kaz Brown, and that ball served out of bounds. If you can imagine, the opposing servers avoid Elena Scott. What did I say the other night? Like the bubonic plague?
Yes, you did. And one of the things when Elena Scott in the middle of the court forces the teams to serve the wide, and they make serving errors like that last one.
And she takes up so much court, it makes it much, much easier for Anna DeBeer and Chaich, the other receivers. Chaich was super good the other night, 61%. Here's Kylie Murr out of Purdue. Excellent defensive specialist. Boy, a lot of room for Abercrombie. Shampoo is really doing a good job, and maybe more importantly, the receivers for Orlando.
Courtney Schwann put that ball right in Shampoo's hands, and when she has that ball, she can run it with very quick tempo, and you see the block from Indy Ignite chasing. They might want to make an adjustment and start that left front blocker a little bit wider.
Yeah, they've got to do something against Abercrombie. She's in wonderful rhythm right now, as is Ajani Teeler.
Abercrombie's going to get her points, but you want to make her more uncomfortable.
Teeler now 4 of 6, no errors, 667. She's had a big season. Remember, last year she only played part-time for Orlando. What a difference. Big block by Martin.
The short serve from the Indy Ignite forced Foster to take the pass, and that allows them an out-of-system play where the block can set up on the right side.
Yeah, wonderful point. That's one of the rare occasions, at least so far in this opening set, where Shampoo has had to really scramble behind the 3-meter line, and the block was set. Lydia Martin, what a rookie season she has had. The rookie out of Oklahoma, dealt with that back issue, missed the last couple of weeks, but coming back. Remember, we were concerned about how she would be able to perform in this championship, and the very first swing she put down on the floor in the opening set of the semifinal almost put a hole in it.
Both these teams ran through their middle often in the semifinals, especially the Indy Ignite.
Shampoo, one of 2 setters on the first team of the all PVF group, the other being Sydney Hilly. There is Shampoo in the semifinals, and you look at what she has done to help lead her team. 46 assists in that contest, 14 digs, first team all conference as mentioned. These are the number 1 and 2 setters in terms of assists in the entire league, and you said it right before first serve, Holly. Happy Mother's Day once again, of course, and to all the mothers around the globe, quite frankly. The offenses are very, very good, the top 2 in the league.
That's why serving is such a key part of this matchup.
Indy won their semifinal over the number 1 seed, Omaha Valkyries, 3 sets to 2, 15-13 in the 5th. A chance here. That is not a good set. Good read that time by Johnny Taylor, but out of bounds. Let's go back over to the sideline in Madison.
I listened into the Valkyries timeout. Coach Amy Polly was specifically talking about the pass, locking in on the pass, and then giving Shampoo all of her options open. And this is a conversation that I'm used to hearing with the Valkyries because they're so balanced and they run through all of their options. They are their best when they lock in on the pass.
Thank you, Madison. Ellie McKissick, also a very late add. As far as Libros is concerned, Klicka, only her 6th match so far with the Valkyries. Klicka out of nearby University of Florida. She was training with the Gators, so coming on and missed that ball just out of bounds. Very streaky opening set, 3-point run, 4-point run.
There's a lot of nerves. Correction really quick. Allie McKissick is the one who came in as a serving sub out of the University of Florida.
Wearing number 21 in blue there in reception. Boy, right on target once again in Abercrombie. She is really on a roll right now offensively.
The Indy Ignite need to figure out a way to affect her more, and I'll tell you, she's had all the answers. Big seam in that block between the 2 Indy Ignite blockers. She's able to find ways to put it to the throat quick.
Abercrombie has already taken 22 swings. Is that a misprint? And has 10 kills. Off speed, nicely done. What a battle between the 2 oppos.
Definitely, but Brittany Abercrombie for the Orlando Valkyries have got a lot more sets.
There is Carly Scott out of the University of Michigan. Played a lot of 6-rotation volleyball for the Ignite all season long. Very, very good ball control. Excellent on the beach as well. A chance here. Back to Abercrombie. Must have. De Beer has been struggling. That was not a perfect set in trans. Nice stab by Hilly. De Beer, tough swing. Did she get a piece of the block? The officials are looking at one another. Turn the lights back on. That's not a set point just yet.
They are challenging. Orlando Valkyries challenging the touch.
2 challenges per set per team. Let's listen.
Orlando is challenging no block touch.
You can challenge touch off the block or not, a net violation. You cannot challenge ball or in or out. That's all done electronically by Bolt 6. You can also challenge 3 levels of foot fault off the service line, 3-meter line, and center line. Did Anna De Beer get a piece of this block? She did not. Set points for the Valkyries of Orlando. They were 18-10 in the regular season. Indy was 13-15, the number 4 and number 3 seeds. That was very close. Into Crawford, no. Chaich out of the back row, only 1 blocker, saved by Abercrombie. Good transition set that time and missed out of bounds. De Beer is really struggling at the offensive end right now for Indy. They got to sort that out. Holly McPeak, first set goes to Orlando.
We've seen both teams go to their bench all season long. Will Indy Ignite do that?
Shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
The match for $1 million in Las Vegas, the Pro Volleyball Federation Championship in the opening set going to Amy Polly and the Valkyries of Orlando, 25-21. Holly McPeak, let's take a look at the opening set numbers.
Hitting efficiency, huge, but we looked at numbers from the semifinals. Indy played so clean. They had 7 hitting errors in a 5-set match. They already had 8 in the first set, and that crushed them, as well as the 10 kills from Brittany Abercrombie.
And Anna DeBeer, who had that last ball out of bounds, she's taken 12 swings, has 2 kills and 5 errors. Anna DeBeer is a big-time competitor. She will sort this out. She's still on the floor, and her team needs her, and her coach trusts her. Working on DeBeer right away. Here is Chajic. Accurate dig by Klicka, and Schwan not able to put the ball away yet. Scott tracks it down. Anna DeBeer needs something to happen positively. They've got some options on the bench, and just underway here in the second set for the championship. Let's go over to Madison Fitzpatrick.
Well, Brittany Abercrombie, 10 kills in the first set, absolutely insane. So there's no question why their adjustments are going to be around Brittany Abercrombie. For Indy Ignite, Sydney Hilley was saying 2 people have to be up on Abercrombie. We know their go-to. She should never be one-on-one, and this wasn't our best, and we were still that close.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And Abercrombie, I mean, she's good against 3 blockers, but she did have a lot of blocks in front of her that were not well formed. That's something that Indy is going to have to straighten out, and getting some points from the service line never hurts. This was Nina Chajic, 23 in light blue. Shannon Scully on to receive. She's expert at receiving the jumper, over 70%. And that ball very close, but just out of bounds. It's a Pro Volleyball Federation Championship brought to you by Big Soleil, coming your way on CBS Sports Network, presented by Chase Sapphire with Holly McPeak, Madison Fitzpatrick, Paul Sunderland here. Omaha, the winners last year. Overpass, and Kaz Brown knows how to take care of that. Look who's serving.
Natalie Foster bombs her serve, and when she does, good things happen for the Orlando Valkyries. Watch the pace on this serve. Gets away from Chajic, and then Kaz Brown with the slam dunk.
68 aces, and misses that into the top of the tape. I know last year Betania de la Cruz had the record 32. It was 7 fewer matches, but I guarantee you that after 21 matches, Natalie Foster was way ahead of that pace.
When I broke down the numbers, Betania Cruz had about 0.38 aces per set, and Natalie Foster's around 0.6.
Yeah, double that. Abercrombie again. She is absolutely the quintessential opposite. Never hits into the low part of the block.
High volleyball IQ, low air, and a dangerous attacker who can hurt you in so many ways.
11 kills on 25 swings, 1 error. How can Indy slow down the most valuable player, or Kaz Brown?
Shampoo to Kaz Brown. There's such a nice connection. Shampoo loves to push it behind her with speed, and you see Kaz Brown driving hard, arm up, ready to kill that ball down the line.
Kaz Brown was 10 of 18. Look at that tough serve. Service winner now for Orlando.
The basis of this game is serve and pass. Every coach tells us, and right now Orlando dominating that.
The bullpen's having a very good time so far, particularly on the Valkyrie side. Kaz Brown was 10 of 18 on Friday in the semifinals. She's 4 of 6 right now. Good cover by Scott. Very nice reaction and touch by Brown. Number 11 in blue in the middle. Got to get DeBeer started. Dig that time by Klicka. And Indy is really out of sync, and the Valkyries are taking advantage of every opportunity.
Orlando's thrown the first punch, and it was a hard one.
Yep.
Has them dazed and confused, and Indy Ignite just trying to get their footing and find their rhythm.
6-1 run after taking the opening set 25-21. Combination play, there is Teeler. Shampoo will have that very hittable ball. Boy, we had a good look at that, didn't we, Holly? Was right in front of us. Boy, Anna DeBeer, number 14, continues to struggle. We've come to the technical timeout, but would not be surprised to see Katie Baird in the lineup very, very soon. Indy's got to do something to turn this around.
Concerned about high interest rates? Then you should know your FICO score. A higher FICO score can save you money by helping you secure better interest rates. At MyFICO, you get access to the score used by 90% of the top lenders. Get your FICO score for free at myfico.com/free or download the MyFICO app.
Welcome back to Lee's Family Forum. I'm here with Coach Amy Pauley. Coach, the job's not done yet, but what do you like most about the way that your team has attacked these first two sets?
I just like that we're playing every point like it's the championship game. You know, it's not any other game. Even though we prepared the same, we did everything the same. I think they're laying their bodies on the floor and taking the swings like they want to win.
Thank you for your time. Paul?
Yeah, excellent job by Amy Pauley in her second year in Orlando. Last year, only 8-16. Associate head coach at USC previously with our good friend Brad Keller. And what a job she has done. Better personnel. It makes a coach look pretty darn good, but she has weathered the storm in Orlando. And Katie Baird, as we thought, is in the lineup. 6'3" outside hitter out of nearby if you're in Indianapolis or in Indy. Had a wonderful season in Turkey. Finished early. Her team in Turkey didn't make the playoffs, so she was available to join a roster. Shampoo out of the play. Klicka. Of course it's going back row. Dug by Chajic. Schwan misses that into the antenna and out of bounds.
Indy Ignite trying to attack down the line over Shampoo, the small right side blocker, and they're rotating their middle back defender down that line to pick it up. Really strong defensive game plan for the Orlando Valkyries.
Courtney Schwan wearing number 4 in dark blue. Last couple of seasons in Italy where she met her current husband Giacomo, who's on the staff in Orlando. And here for these championships, Van de Weyde has been rock solid in reception so far. That's a real positive for Orlando. Chajic is blocked.
Courtney Schwan, the left side blocker for the Orlando Valkyrie, come in and take that ball away. She likes to go wrist away, Nina Chajic, and she's there to get that stop.
Everything going Orlando's way, and they're earning it. Yeah, there have been some errors on the side of Indy. Back to Abercrombie once again. Dug out by Crawford. Not a good set to Chajic. Did not get a good swing on it. Van de Weyde can't rattle it through just yet, and that's going to be a lift call.
Indy needs to lock into the little details, the press on the block, every play to get their game back on track.
Very similar to the opening set when it was 12-6. Timeout is called by the Indy Ignite, and teams will head to the sideline. And now while we have a moment, let's take a look at tonight's player profile, brought to you by Dove. Lydia Martin, the outstanding rookie out of Oklahoma, has had some injury issues, particularly late in the season. Had a lovely visit with her mother on the way over to this championship. Lydia Martin doing a very, very nice job in the middle after the back injury that she's recovered from.
Lydia Martin, a rookie in the Pro Volleyball Federation. She's so physical at the net and really strong on both sides of the ball. And as a middle blocker, elevating to the pro level, that's hard to do.
Lydia Martin on the year hitting .357, second only to Corey Lewis in terms of hitting efficiency. Let's go back to Madison.
Coach George Padgett said, we believe in each other, don't we? Act like it. And then he said, we don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. We don't have to do anything special. We just have to play normal. Paul?
Thank you, Madison. Nothing normal right now about the way Orlando is playing. Very, very efficient. Tied at 3-all to start this second set. And a 7-1 run. That's a mammoth run at this level.
It certainly is, but volleyball's a game of momentum, and if you're Indy, you just want to try and adjust, make some small improvements, and get momentum on your side.
Chajic, the perfect pass, a much-needed kill. Point possession going to Crawford and the Ignite. Very well executed slide, difficult play to defend off the perfect pass. Orlando's been much better in reception, it seems like, but we looked at the numbers and statistically, pretty close. Oh, what a block. C.C. Crawford
Cece Crawford, number 12 in light blue for the Indy Ignite, trying to change the momentum. First she has a kill and then a huge block stuff right there.
Previously part of the Great Wall of Wisconsin. You saw exactly why. Katie Baird out of Stanford, just finished her pro first year. A couple of years in Turkey. Not down yet. Chiach turned it down the line. Only one blocker up, and that ball got up way too high on Abercrombie. Little momentum now. You mentioned it, Holly. We're in light blue now.
3 points in a row. Starts with the dig, but look at that transition set from Elena Scott to Nina Chiach, who comes in and rips that ball for a huge point.
Which team can settle down and start eliminating some of these big runs? Indy did not take advantage of that miscue that time by Shampoo. Elena Scott was there defensively, but they couldn't get a good swing out of it. Ajani Teeler now with 5 kills, make it 5 kills on 13 swings after that error. Chiach again, Abercrombie will track that down. Hittable ball. Van de Weyde, that was a good set, good opportunity, and way to be aggressive, especially when you're leading.
Lindsay Van der Weyde is one of those players who's going to take a big rip, tries to be aggressive. Ball just dropped too low by the time it came over her shoulder.
11-8 is the lead. Plenty of time. Really good pass once again by Schwan, but too tight. Shampoo couldn't go up and get it, and the advantage, Shampoo being a front court setter, Lydia Martin could go up and attack that.
And Lydia Martin's one of those players who's going to own the net. She sees that ball coming tight. She goes up and gets it, turns it away from the blocker in front of her.
Says rookie on her roster position, but a rookie no more out of Oklahoma, has really had a good year. Van de Weyde again missed that ball out of bounds, and look at these runs, and right back in it again. Going back to the opening set, Holly, it was 12-6, and then you blink an eye and it's 14-12, 16-14. Same, it was 10-4 in the second, now it's 11-10.
And you talk about momentum switches, that's a big one.
You did.
Yes, Indy starting to serve the ball more aggressive, gets a little tweak in the play, and then Orlando's not siding out at the same clip they were earlier.
Indy back within 1. Look at some of the key numbers in the offensive performers. Brittany Abercrombie, you know, she was just spectacular in the first 2/3 of the opening set. Now 11 of 28. She takes 30% of all the total swings, does not make errors, only 1. Lindsay Van de Weyde is only 2 of 9. Kaz Brown is 5 of 11, still clean with no errors. She also has no errors so far in this semifinal and final going on. Chiach, after being so spectacular, you know that she was keyed upon by Orlando, only 3 of 14 with 1 error. Ajani Teeler 5 of 13, and Anna DeBeer really struggled and has now been replaced by Baird. Cece Crawford back at the line. All of that said, it's 11-10. Good in reception, medium pass, what Amy Pauley was talking about. Scoring when everything is not perfect.
Brittany Abercrombie, that time high seam, and she finds a way. Such amazing court vision to see the block and then pick where she wants to attack it.
Abercrombie now with 12 kills and also very good at the defensive end. Lydia Martin wrist away, number 22 in light blue.
The Indy Ignite need a lot more of that. If they can get their middles going, that's going to open up the seams for them. But they've been playing behind most of the plays because their passing hasn't been up to par. 14
of 23, no errors in the semifinal. Once again, only 7 hitting errors for Indy throughout the course of the entire 5-set win over Omaha. They had 8 hitting errors in the opening set. Beautifully dug by Shampoo along with Schwan. Teeler looking into the cross court, dug by Shampoo. Brittany Abercrombie, big crush by BA.
Shampoo playing right back defense, overhand dig, keeps the ball off the floor, and Brittany Abercrombie is able to get a swing in transition. Shannon Scully, beautiful platform set.
28 digs now already for Orlando. Very nice and right back to it.
Really important for Indy Ignite to to get that middles going. George Padgett says, look, when we get our middles going, we pass that well, really frees things up on the pins and the bick out of the back row. So a good sign for Indy Ignite.
Here's Chajic. Schwan, really good pass and a better block. What a matchup between two rookies. Foster along with Martin out of the middle. Hilly out of the play. Elena Scott, expert in transition. Abercrombie. Left quickly, and the ball is blocked. Katie Baird, number 1 in light blue, is slowed. Abercrombie with some help from Foster.
Brittany Abercrombie got wide on that block and really took that line swing away from Katie Baird. Watch her get out there with her feet, reach back into the seam.
Foster, the new ace record holder in the PVF, and that one missed into the top of the tape. Interesting, you know, you try to get the left front hitter on the ground if you're an opponent, but when you do that, that frees up Abercrombie either in the front court or the back court. I think they ought to try to get the ball on her.
I agree.
Yeah, complete switch. You've got to get the ball off of to Abercrombie and try to take her out of the play. Easy serve, well handled. There's Abercrombie, good touch by Baird. A very nice speed bump. Oh, Johnny Taylor, big rip and just missed it out of bounds.
Katie Baird did a nice job defensively getting out on Brittany Abercrombie, but then Ajani Taylor just misses this ball wide down the line.
Taylor got off to a very, very good start through her first 8 or 10 swings. We'll update her numbers. 5 of 16, 2 errors. Out of system here. Oh, right side, very good set. Dug by Van de Weyden. Right back at you by Scott. Nina Chajic. That looked like a semifinal swing.
Nina Chajic, according to Orlando, likes to go wrist away, but now she's going cross body, making an adjustment away from the block.
Scott there again, but nobody to follow up. A little bit of a, that's like the 405 and the 101 intersection. Nina Chajic went north and the ball was going south as we've come to the second technical timeout. 16-14. The match for $1 million. Orlando leading 1-0.
Yo, what's up, man? We're still trying to get that new place, right?
Yeah.
Well, check this. Table 5 was popping off. They was talking about all this new technology. There's a T-shirt that can button itself.
My boy has that T-shirt.
For real?
And the pants. Yes, sir.
Pants too.
We got to invest. Damn.
My paycheck invests itself. My portfolio's set, man.
You don't believe in yourself. I believe in me. Why do you think I own this? You thought I rented that? Crazy.
That's faith.
I don't know why he's like that.
Yeah.
Whatever, more for us, on him.
Hey.
Yo's or what?
D, bro.
Ooh, I don't think they take that here.
Of course they take Discover. You're stuck in the past, baby.
You're the one who owns 13 pairs of parachute pants?
And these are my 14th.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide.
Welcome back to Lee's Family Forum. Coach, you started off not so hot in this set, but then things started to click. What clicked that allowed you to claw your way back?
A couple better touches on the block, a couple better digs. I feel like we're settling in right now, but early nerves kind of getting us each game. We'll see how we respond the rest of this game. This game is really gettable. Just got to keep blocking the way we are right now.
Thank you for your time. Paul?
16-14 at the second technical timeout, and as far as the distribution, there's little doubt about it. Brittany Abercrombie has taken 33 of a total of 64 swings right now by the Orlando Valkyries, and very, very efficient indeed, and the numbers back it up.
You see those numbers, right side, 40% of the balls going behind.
That's a big number, particularly in women's professional volleyball. Almost everything dominated on the left side. Nice play by Abercrombie again. Kill number 14 for the MVP of the league.
Looking at these numbers, Kaz Brown likes to attack behind the setter as well, so she's attacking from the right side, attacking the left side blockers of the Indy Ignite.
Orlando with 31 digs. They're getting lots of opportunities in transition. Another block, this by Shampoo.
Well, Shampoo with a large assist from Kaz Brown.
Yes.
Watch Kaz Brown, the middle blocker for the Orlando Valkyrie, get out and close. Oh. She gets all of that.
Shampoo fooled me with her celebration. Chajic, perfect pass, right back at you with a slide. Courtney Schwan, number 4 in dark blue, is so solid. And the roll shot is down. Boy, and what a game of runs, particularly at this level. 3, 4, 5, back to back to back, and another timeout.
That time, that dig from Courtney Schwann. She's stepping into the seam of the block, making nice defensive reads for the Orlando Valkyries.
19-14. We just heard from Coach George Padgett with Madison Fitzpatrick. He thought this set was gettable. Well, that was a couple of moments ago. They're not in the red zone yet, but very, very positive plays by Amy Pauley and the Orlando Valkyries coming out of the timeout.
We've seen a game of runs. Indy's made some pushes, but Orlando continues to respond.
Get the feeling of Johnny Teeler, who carried this team into the playoffs after Lekator Member Mena went down with that season-ending ankle surgery. And again, I felt like, and the numbers bared it out, number 19 got off to a very good start. They need to really start feeding her. She is a dynamic player, point scorer, and a really emotional leader like Kaz Brown on the other side.
And when a Johnny Teeler can attack from the right side, she can attack that right back defender that's either Shampoo or Brittany Abercrombie.
She will be expanding her volleyball career. She'll be an assistant coach at Vanderbilt this coming fall. It's the first time Vanderbilt has joined women's college volleyball. Better late than never. They were the only team in the SEC without a collegiate volleyball team, and she'll be part of that effort. 19-14 is the advantage. Orlando won the opening set 25-21. They had a big lead early. Same exact script here in the second set. Too much climbing uphill. There it is to Teeler. Nice dig by Abercrombie. We've talked about her defense all season long. And Vanderweide once again, but Abercrombie with the stab.
I think Indy Ignite got what they wanted, the attack from the right side, but just a better play by Orlando.
5-0 run. Very easy serve. Medium pass. Crawford down the line. That is dug by Klicka, but out of reach.
Last time the Indy Ignite went on a run, it started with a CC Crawford kill down that line. Let's see if they can build on this one.
Orlando in their journey through the libero position. Georgia Murphy, who was the best passer in the league through the first third, injured her knee and was out for the year. So they were sort of performing by committee throughout the year, adding Klicka and McKissick late in the season. Katie Baird. Abercrombie again with the dig. And Emmy Klicka, who played last year in national semifinals at the University of Pittsburgh, concluded her career, but was in Pittsburgh and doing double days with Dan Fisher and the Pitt Panthers. So her game was razor sharp, so she was ready and able to join the Orlando effort at the defensive end. Much needed side out score. Scully, good reception, back row combination, dug by Teeler. Baird looking for some hands and missed it out of bounds. Another hitting error, going back to that earlier stat. All night long on Friday, 111 swings, 7 errors. Now, if you look at Indy, they have 13 hitting errors already here in the second set. It's killing them.
And you can't give a team like Orlando points like that. They're already earning them, and then you give them 13.
Melanie Schaffmaster's on, along with White, to add some size blocking. Schaffmaster, expert setter as well. Right side, Crawford. Abercrombie with a piece. 21-16 is the lead. Must have if you're Indy. Slide once again. Crawford. Chayich, beautiful swing. Area 4 in the left front, all the way into the perfectly executed deep cross court.
Indy ahead on that last play. You see Elena Scott, one of her best skills, those hand sets in transition as a libero. Fantastic transition setter for the Indy Ignite.
Shampoo will come back on. And here is Kylie Murr. Vanderweide has really been up to it in reception. Murr is there, keeping the ball off the floor. Shampoo going quick, and that ball put away by White out of the middle.
Shampoo works her magic for the Orlando Valkyrie. When the ball's in her hand, she can put it anywhere, and that time White gets a kill out of the middle.
Shampoo will go back to the line. 22-17, comfortable advantage here. Match for $1 million, best 3 out of 5, and it just got a little sweeter right now with a block by Van de Weyden, who's been exceptional.
Well, the left side blocker has been helping in the middle for the Orlando Valkyrie. Keen on the middle blocker, Lydia Martin, trying to slow her down.
Big lead now for the Valkyries, the number 3 seed over the number 4 seed, Indy Ignite. They split the regular season meeting, 2 wins apiece. Lydia Martin coming right back.
That time, Indy Ignite able to get a spread in the block, and Lydia Martin, high contact point, driving that down.
Time maybe not to win this set, Holly, but you said how important momentum is. There is certainly time on the clock to make some positive plays and put a little doubt in the mind of Orlando, because the Valkyries are rolling right now. Here is Hilly. Last year a champion with Omaha, most valuable player in the final championship round, and that ball by Johnny Taylor.
Nice defensive play off the joust by Chaich to lift that ball and allow a Johnny Taylor a transition swing.
One more, and Amy Pauley calls a timeout.
Yes.
Short serve, Schwan all over that. And Abercrombie again, this time through Martin.
When Shampoo's in system, she can just put that ball anywhere. But Abercrombie been her target all night long.
38 swings out of a total of 73. We knew that was going to happen. Set point number 1. Right side to Taylor. Oh, big block. I can do more than just kill the ball off the right side, says the league's most valuable player, Brittany Abercrombie. 5 digs to go along with 15 kills, hitting .342. Also has a handful of digs as well. Brittany Abercrombie leading the way for Orlando, up 2 sets to none, 25-21, 25-19.
We talked about blocking for Orlando. Their numbers rank them lowest in the league, but very effective so far.
Outstanding. What a combination, and Kaz Brown has really been upping her level. And speaking of that, who do we have but Kaz Brown with Madison Fitzpatrick?
All right, Kaz, the Valkyries started hot. What do you like best from the way your team has come out today?
I really like the way that we are defending. I think we're setting up good blocks for our back row defenders to dig around, and then obviously Brittany's on fire, so when she's hot, we're going to feed her, and I think everybody else can work around her offense.
What's the conversation like in the locker room moving forward to this 3rd set?
The conversation is no let up. This is a really talented, really balanced Indy Ignite team. Sydney Hilly is a great quarterback for them, and so I know that she's going to do everything she can to get her hitters hot, and so we have to keep our foot on the gas.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Madison.
Paul.
Thank you, Madison. A very, very solid semifinal going into the championship. 17 of 30 and a handful of blocks as well for Kaz Brown, and no errors. Orlando 1 set away from $1 million.
Moments matter.
This is what you were made for.
Welcome back to the Big Soleil PVF Championship, coming your way on CBS Sports Network. Presented by Chase Sapphire. Paul Sunderland here, along with Madison Fitzpatrick, a 3-time Olympian, bronze medalist and NCAA champion Holly McPeak. And now all the onus on the Indy Ignite after hitting .331 through 5 sets on Friday against the regular season champs from Omaha. They're hitting only .049. How do they turn that around? That's particularly an area where they've got to step it up.
One play at a time. Starts with aggressive serving and taking care of every contact. That's how you get momentum on your side of the net.
Just underway, 3rd set, must win. As Johnny Taylor missed that. She's usually very solid overhand, very solid in every aspect, trying to smile that one off, if you will.
Well, frustrating. She's there with her hands, and it just gets away from her, got too far under it. Those are errors you do not see.
Indy has been climbing uphill, expending a lot of energy, getting back in both the opening set and in the second. They trailed 12-6 in the first and 10-4 in the second and got well back into both of them. There's Ajani Teeler, 19 in light blue, soon to be an assistant coach with the Commodores.
Good pass, and Sydney Hilly getting Teeler in a really nice spot to elevate and use the block.
Teeler now with 7 kills on 22 swings. Perfect pass, nicely done by Van de Weyde. That's been one of the overarching themes so far. That ball hit out of bounds, and that is the first hitting error on the night for Brittany Abercrombie on 40 swings.
Impressive.
It's remarkable how good she is. A very good lesson for young players. Always hitting high flat for the deep part of the court. What a cover by Shampoo. Indy thought that point was over. Baird, now it's done, number 1. What does Katie Baird possibly bring to the floor for Indy?
Katie Baird brings more size. At 6'3", she puts up a big block on that left side to try and slow Brittany Abercrombie down. Look at that read by Sydney Hilly and then Elena Scott to Katie Baird.
A national champion at Stanford and just coming off her season in the Turkish league. Very, very top professional league. Going to Teeler. That ball deflected off of Kaz Brown. Feed Ajani Teeler. That was the theme when they were playing really, really well after Member Mena went out.
And Elena Scott does a really nice job pushing that ball out in transition when Hilly picks it up defensively.
I was watching head coach George Pageant in his first year in the league as Indy is also in their first year as an expansion team. And just his body language is always so positive and so calm, as evidenced by when Anna De Beer was struggling. He still went with her as long as he could.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell how relaxed he is. His body language is positive, and he likes to give players a chance to work out of trouble.
Baird good in reception. Back again to Teeler. Near collision under the net, but Ajani Teeler 3 quick kills to start this third set. Must win for the Indy Ignite.
Ajani Teeler is one of those players who can really detonate. You see the big hole between those 2 blockers. Teeler attacks it.
Set up by better passing, and that is a shank. Rare by Van de Weyde. She's really been up to it because she's targeted.
Lydia Martin, the middle blocker for Indy Ignite, going right after Lindsey Van der Weyde, high in her body.
This is flipping the script. It has been Orlando that has led big time early on in each of the first 2 sets. That's saved by Abercrombie. Good read. Schwann is blocked. C.C. Crawford along with Teeler.
I love to watch C.C. Crawford and Ajani Teeler work together as a block. Watch the rhythm of this swing block. They get together, hands over. Beautiful ball for the Indy Ignite.
Good call, Holly. That really was in perfect rhythm. Right back at you.
Kaz Brown and the Orlando Valkyries continue to attack the right side of the net, the left side of the defense for the Indy Ignite.
Kaz Brown now 32 swings in the semifinal and final, no errors. Perfect pass. That's too easy a serve, and Katie Baird off the edge of the block. We'll get to 8, and the first technical timeout, and Amy Pauley rolling the dice, not calling a timeout, knowing that one was coming when a team reached 8. So Katie Baird chipping in, and Indy with their backs against the wall, and the match for $1 million coming your way on the CBS Sports Network.
Combination play to Katie Baird and the Indy Ignite point.
Some days are long, some nights never end. I mark the fleeting seconds flight, I pray to the coming wind. That timelines never stood around for me. I love every sky I've ever seen.
of the Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Franklin Sports, a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on CBS Sports Network.
Well, we gave the offensive numbers, or lack thereof, Holly McPeak, before the start of the third set. What a turnaround for the Ignite.
Big time. Indy Ignite 5 of 6 in this third set, so their offensive numbers definitely improved, and Ajani Teeler has been a big reason why.
After hitting 331, led by Sydney Hilly over Omaha on Friday night. Only 0-49 through the first couple of sets. Abercrombie. Beautiful set by Shampoo to open up BA, the outstanding player at the opposite position. Let's go over to Madison Fitzpatrick.
Well, I heard you guys mention, and Amy Polly also agrees, we have to get back to being aggressive from the service line. She said good passing, but now it's about service pressure.
Kaz Brown just lobbing one in. Nice play by Chajic, and going to the hot hand. Sydney Hilly. Don't have to tell her twice to go to Teeler.
And it starts with a good pass. When the Indy Ignite pass it up to the net where Sydney Hilly has her middle option, that holds the blocker, Natalie Foster, at the net. And then she has to chase defensively.
Hilly and Indy now 6 of 7 attacking here in the third set. CC Crawford thought she got a piece of the block, and we're going to have a challenge. No question about it. Good play by Crawford. Thought she got a piece for sure. We'll listen in. First referee will tell us what we're going to look at.
Indy is challenging a block touch.
2 challenges per set, unless you prove correct, and then you can keep your 2 throughout the set. Can't challenge in or out. That's done electronically. Can challenge foot fault on the service line, 3-meter line, center line, also a net touch and a touch off the block, and that's what we've got right here. Match for $1 million prize won last year, no question. Very good work by the Bolt 6 crew stationed in Charlotte, North Carolina. That one took about 14.2 seconds.
And Cindy Crawford, CC Crawford, being very aggressive with that block in front of her.
There is Baird, came on to replace De Beer. Good serve down the line, but well handled. Chajic through the block and down. And what a transition set that time by Baird.
Indy Ignite playing loose, making plays. Look at Elena Scott slide under that ball, and Katie Baird hand sets Chajic to the net. Beautiful kill in transition.
Another run by Baird and Indy, now at 3-0, and it's starting at the service line. Here's Van de Weyden. What a dig by Scott. Hilly will track that down. Chajic again.
Great things happen when you play all-out defense, and it starts with a fantastic libero and Elena Scott in orange. Look at her cover that huge territory in the corner, and then Chajic in transition. Beautiful cross-court kill.
Well, right on time. Everybody igniting for Indy at the offensive end when they were in a must-win situation. Really, really good at the offensive end. Now let's take a look inside the team huddle. Brought to you by Spalding inside Orlando. And they knew they were going to get a fight. Kaz Brown said it, and they have gotten one indeed. Amy Polly there, the head coach. Now it's time for Orlando to try to slow down Indy.
Good response by Indy Ignite. They're making plays that they weren't making earlier, making digs, getting transition swings. And when this Indy Ignite team can make plays, they can get hot offensively and go on long runs.
Only hitting 900 so far, 9 of 10 without an error. Remember, after really and I mean really struggling, hitting 0-49. That is just an awful number. It's no reason why Orlando was up 2 sets to none, 25-21 and 25-19. Indy has had a lot of adversity. They lost an MVP candidate in Lekator member Mena, and then they lost their fine middle blocker to some injury issues. Lydia Martin, and this time the run is finally stopped by another outstanding rookie in the PVF. That's Natalie Foster out of SMU.
Natalie Foster up over the net quickly on that back row attack by Katie Baird.
12-5. Can Indy maintain? Can Orlando get back in this? 3 hitters now up front. Shampoo, Katie Baird, perfect pass. Free ball coming. Hilly again, no, quickly to the outside. Oh, big block. Abercrombie with a one-on-one stuff.
We talk a lot about Brittany Abercrombie and her offense, but watch her get outside with her feet and take all of that ball away from Nina Chayich.
Elena Scott stepping in, expert pass right back to Chayich. Indy free ball ahead in the point. Good play by Teeler stepping in. Crawford on the slide. Well slowed by Vanderweide. Oh. Brittany Abercrombie again.
Shampoo does such a nice job delivering that set to her hot hitter. Middle blocker late. Cece Crawford isn't even there, so it's one-on-one and Abercrombie able to score.
Well, what a challenge, not only for Abercrombie, another block. 3 big blockers up in dark blue. Vanderweide along with Foster got that. But Shampoo is doing an absolutely brilliant job moving the ball around and correcting those opportunities. What would Orlando do after we visited inside their huddle, brought to you by Spalding? They would respond with a 4-0 run, and just like that, what was a big lead is now 12-8. Still somewhat comfortable, but that's a very nice turnaround by Orlando as we go back to the sideline. Go ahead at Madison.
Well, I'm not sure if anyone is interested, but I definitely was, and I'm sure you are too. The nickname Shampoo, where does it come from? Well, Shampoo told me it means sweet fruit. And then Amy Polly was like, you do look like a sweet fruit, and she loves her nickname. Also, another funny story about Shampoo. One of the coaching staff members of the Valkyries said, Shampoo, we call it the Holy Trinity when she's playing at her best. That's when Porn Pun, Good Part, and Shampoo, she's combining all 3 of those personalities, and that's when she's unstoppable. So the Holy Trinity is trying to come back out tonight.
Fantastic, Madison, as has been this 9-year pro, originally from Thailand where she played, but also in the top leagues in Korea and Japan. But we've got a timeout. Want to remind you, on Thursday at 8 Eastern, get caught up on the latest PGA Championship play with highlights, interviews, and in-depth analysis like you won't see anywhere else. Catch PGA Championship Clubhouse Report here on the CBS Sports Network. Back with Madison, Holly McPeak. I'm Paul Sunderland. Happy Mother's Day once again. There is Sydney Hilly. What a matchup at so many positions. Shampoo and Hilly, Ajani Teeler and Brittany Abercrombie. Nice play by Scott. Airborne. The roll shot is deflected. Swan will track that down. $1 million on the line. Everybody laying it out. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant feel for the game by Abercrombie.
You have to honor Brittany Abercrombie as a defender, and you're deep in the court down that line because she's got that kill. Look at this pursuit ball. Elena Scott's left back comes all the way over to pick it up on the right side of the court, and then feels the defense deep, goes short right over the hanging block of Chayich.
And if you're going to put an off-speed shot down away from Elena Scott, it has to be perfectly executed. Orlando has really stepped it up at the digging end. Feels like a must-have on the slide. No combination, timing not there. Shampoo getting her team organized down the line, dug again by Scott. Baird is very good transition setter. Into Chayich.
Indy Ignite making plays with their defense. Another Elena Scott dig, and then Katie Baird, excellent with her hands, pushing it up to her counterpart on the left side, Chayich.
And George Pageant again, once again, such a cool customer. When Indy was struggling there a little bit, he wandered over and just had a nice little conversation with Chayich, and she responded with a big swing, as did Vanderweide.
Lindsay Vanderweide found a seam in that block. Very aggressive on the left side, and all those Vanderweide points are bonus for the Orlando team. They like to go through the middle and the right side mostly.
4 kills on 15 swings, but passing very, very well, and maybe that's even a bigger story. Here comes Orlando again. It was a 12-4 lead at a timeout called by Orlando, and now it is 13-11. That is a 7-1 run. It's been that story throughout the course of the afternoon. Big time runs, very unusual. Ajani says we'll put a stop to that.
The Indy Ignite made an adjustment in their serve receive, and Elena Scott was taking almost half the court. Look at her step over into serve receive, getting a good pass up, so Ajani Teeler able to get the set she wants.
It was a good enough pass to make Foster late out of the middle, opening up that hole. Good read by Baird. Chaich well off the net. Oh, the roll shot again.
Transition dig. Beautiful roll shot. Chaich, we see her swing so hard, and that makes the defense stay on her heels, on their heels.
Really sells the hard swing and then goes off speed. Teeler's got room. Oh, what a block. One rookie against another, and this time it's Lydia Martin, 22 in light blue. Response by the Ignite, and we get to our second technical timeout.
We have two elite rookie middle blockers going at it. Natalie Foster goes crossbody. Lydia Martin takes it away.
Hi. Hi. Chocolate fundraiser.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your outfit first before meeting your girlfriend's family.
That's a tough one to recover from, Steve.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Back on the city that never sleeps on CBS Sports Network. Tomorrow at 3 Eastern, it's an English Football League clash as Sheffield United take on Bristol City in the second leg of the semifinals right here on the CBS Sports Network, and stream every match live on Paramount Plus. Las Vegas has been a wonderful host for the second ever PVF Championship, the Pro Volleyball Federation. Last year, it was in Omaha. They were tremendous as well. Omaha won that championship. They went out. They were the overall #1 seed. They lost to Indy on Friday night. Oh, Ajani Teeler sacrificing her body. Such a good swing. Nina Chaich, like Brittany Abercrombie. I know Abercrombie is the veteran in her 7th year. Nina Chaich, only a rookie, but brilliant swing.
Ajani Teeler is right front. She gets this tip in the middle of the court to keep that ball alive, so Indy's able to score in transition.
Tough serve, giving Indy a chance. Teeler again, through Schwann and down.
The Indy Ignite have got their game going with fantastic defense. The numbers have been a total turnaround. Indy hitting over 375 compared to Orlando's 150 in this third set alone.
14 of 26 now for Teeler and Indy. Still a ways to go and must have it, and Brittany Abercrombie is so good. Off the top of the block and out of bounds. First in the league during the regular season in kills per set. Also first in the league in points at nearly 5%. She almost had 3 digs per set. Really good all around. And that ball served out of bounds. Foster has yet to really get it rolling from the service line, which is good for Indy.
Definitely.
Yeah, she can be virtually unstoppable. Got a couple of aces in the semifinal against Morgan Henson. That doesn't happen very often. Brown on the slide, no combination, and smartly thrown down once again.
And that's the Terminator play. Kaz Brown drives for a back 1 set right behind Shampoo, and then a fastball to Abercrombie on the right, and just one blocker in front of her.
Abercrombie is so good offensively, and not always with power. Really moves the ball around well. Dug by Van de Weyde. High flat again, back-to-back kills by Abercrombie.
Sydney Hilly ready for that corner swing, gets a hand on it, but the way Abercrombie dissects you offensively, really tough to stop and get a read on her.
22 kills on 51 swings, hitting 370 is Brittany Abercrombie. Nicely done by Martin once again, crossbody.
Sydney Hilly pushing the tempo to Lydia Martin from the 3-meter line. Not easy to run your middle from there, but Sydney Hilly is one of the best at that. Look at this ball right at that 3-meter line. Sydney Hilly has the confidence to go to Martin.
There is Kylie Murr on to serve and play some defense for the Ignite. Taken overhand, well done, and missed out of bounds. In the entire tournament, that is the first hitting error for Kaz Brown, and she's had a lot of swings.
Wow.
33 swings for Kaz Brown, and that's the first ball that she's either had blocked or missed out of bounds, and a timeout called by Orlando. Big lead here now for Indy, 21-14. Must have after they trail 25-21, 25-19, 2 sets to none. Once again tomorrow at 3 Eastern, it's an English Football League clash as Sheffield United takes on Bristol City in the second leg of the semifinals right here on CBS Sports Network and streaming every match live on Paramount+. Anna DeBeer been a key component down the stretch for George Padgett and the Indy Ignite. And again, we've talked about the injury to her ankle. Holly, you were there to see it, and it was a severe, severe ankle injury that took months to recover from, and she worked so hard and so diligently. I talked to her about an hour before first serve, and she's, I'm 100%, but what I need some time off, because she went right from the collegiate season. I know she was recovering, missed the first 6 weeks of her first professional year, and then struggled coming out in this championship match.
But that's why you have a bench, a talented bench.
Yep.
When you're struggling, someone can step in and help, and that's one of the benefits of having that deep team.
A very smart signing by the Indy Ignite management to go out and get Indianapolis native Katie Baird. Nice play by Murr. That's why you bring in a defensive specialist. Nicely done by 6 in light blue. And she's an easy fire-up.
Well, the story of the third set has been the Indy Ignite defense. The way they're picking up that ball and scoring in transition.
22-14. Indy has dominated this third set. Tough serve again off the top of the tape. Out of system, going to Abercrombie. Hilly. Picture perfect dig, and then Ajani Taylor missing over the top. Smart swing, just missed the top of the fingers. Schwan, the last couple of years in Italy, back to serve her first year in the PVF. Baird, rock solid pass, throwing it down into the middle, dug by Schwan. Transition, and Van de Weyden.
Ajani Taylor hovering above the net, but needs to be more disciplined with her hands to get that block. We saw her lock in earlier.
Yeah, and she is a very, very good blocker. Wonderful point, Holly. As an outside blocker, she had 64 total coming into this championship. 6th best in the league as an outside. Very unusual. It's almost always middles. In system again. Oh, what a block. Look at Kaz Brown. Taking a picture of that. That was perfect.
It was picture perfect. This is a combination play. Cece Crawford running for that slide, and Ajani Taylor coming into the middle, but Lindsay Van der Weyden one-on-one block stuff.
Timeout coming if Orlando scores here, and there it is. That's at least a 3-0 run. There's the horn, no question. Was a very comfortable lead, all the momentum moments ago, and now it's 22-18, and getting a little nervous for Indy.
Well, the pace of that set to Kaz Brown is so tough to stop. Shampoo throws it back there so fast that Indy block is always chasing.
Kaz Brown came in very, very hot, 31 of her last 53, and nothing had changed in the semifinals, 11 of 18, and then so far on the afternoon, 8 of 16. Very, very efficient for 11 in blue.
Watch Shampoo fast and flat to Kaz Brown, who gets seemed to work with because of the speed of that set.
big numbers once again put up by the opposite of the year and the most valuable player in the Pro Volleyball Federation, Brittany Abercrombie. But if you're going to really look at an MVP, Champu has been directing traffic. This is what a world-class setter does on this kind of stage.
Brittany Abercrombie and Champu played together in the Korean League together, so they've got that combination, that chemistry.
Really good reminder. You mentioned it the other night during the semifinals. Let's go over to Madison.
Coach George Padgett told his team to keep taking aggressive swings. He said those were good blocks. Let them have them. Don't worry about it, but let's keep swinging high and aggressive.
Thank you, Madison. Now 22-18. Good save. Sydney Hilly going high into the afternoon.
Sydney Hilly is one of the best at going up and getting tight passes and either calling her own number or feeding her hitter. Blocker jumps with her because she's front row and can attack it. Cece Crawford alone at the net for the kill.
And her head coach was absolutely fired up at that save. You go back and look at the tape. Sydney Hilly saved, or at least gave Indy some chances, maybe 20 times in their semifinals. Dug by Scott. What else you? Ajani Taylor for the kill. Elena Scott with a dig in the assist.
Elena Scott's defense has got the Indy Ignite rolling. Transition swings have been so impressive. Ajani Taylor able to get it done.
Set point number 1. And Taylor misses that into the tape, but lots of comfort. That's just 24-19. But you want to close this out if you're Indy. You don't want to give Orlando. Don't let them make a couple of plays if you're the Ignite.
Absolutely not. And Kaz Brown is a very effective server from the back line.
Set point number 2. Baird. And again, Sydney Hilly.
On a platter. I love when the Indy Ignite pass her tight because she just delivers those one-hand sets perfectly.
Maybe like not too many others in the world of volleyball. Sydney Hilly with a spectacular assist, and Indy had their backs up against it, but they stepped up, take the third set, and we will play the fourth on CBS Sports Network.
Taking that angle away from Taylor.
Been a real battle at the defensive end. 48 digs now for the Ignite, 45 for Champu and Orlando. These two teams played 4 times during the regular season, each winning twice. And Orlando, the number 3 seed coming in, and Indy needed to turn it around in terms of hitting efficiency, and they certainly did. From below the Maginot line, everybody knows what the Maginot line is, right?
Yes.
400.
I mean, incredible. Indy didn't even hit over 100 and were able to turn around to 400, but it was really their defense that sparked it. 240 for Orlando's not bad. Indy was just better.
Ajani Taylor off the top of the block. Let's go over to Madison Fitzpatrick.
Well, Coach Amy Polley had a lot to say during that break. She said we need to amp up the service pressure, we need to be relentless on defense, and we have to find a way to pass in the box to get our middles involved more.
That ball served out of bounds, missed by Chilich. We'll give you some of the attacking leaders. Might as well start with a headliner. 22 kills for Abercrombie, 5 for Van de Weyde, 8 now for Kaz Brown. On the other side, 14 for Ajani Taylor and 10 for Nina Chilich. Taylor was spectacular in that third set. Taylor again with the opening kill, but then has this one rejected out of the middle.
Courtney Schwann saw the tip coming. Nice eye work to see that and swat it back down defensively.
Courtney Schwann, solid size-wise at the outside hitter position. Played at the University of Washington. Comes in at 6'2". Really good all-around player. Every successful team has somebody like Courtney Schwann. Coming out to Baird. Boy, that is a big block with Kaz Brown and Abercrombie. That's a better matchup. Not by much, but a little bit better.
Wasn't easy, but Indy Ignite come up with a big cover play and allow themselves to stay in the rally with the big transition kill to Taylor.
Deep serve, well handled. And a break that time for Indy, just missed out of bounds by Brown.
That's the Terminator play. Champu feeds Kaz Brown, who's been so impressive. That's only her second kill. I mean, error, right?
in the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And she's taken 40 swings. That's a mistake. Should have gone back to Vandewide in reception. Good enough set for Taylor, but a better block.
Kaz Brown is a monster block. I love the way she patrols the net. Watch her get outside in her hands, angles them back to the floor. Courtney Schwann with the assist. She set up that block by moving inside.
Hilly again, can't save that one. That was a missed pass, a mistaken reception, and Orlando will take the early lead, 4-3, just underway here in the fourth with Orlando leading 2-1.
Sydney Hilly's in the back row, so can't go up and get that. Kaz Brown knows it, stays aggressive at the net.
And nobody better in the league on the tight pass than Sydney Hilly. Played brilliantly for Kelly Sheffield at the University of Wisconsin. Nice play by Shampoo. Combination play, Kaz Brown again.
Kaz Brown's got such fantastic swagger. I love the way she plays this game. And she is feeling it defensively. Gets right in front of Chaich, takes it away.
Statistically, the 5th most blocks in the Pro Volleyball Federation regular season. Good cross body, CeCe Crawford. More offensive, but it's mostly because of the brilliant setting by Hilly.
And that time, CeCe Crawford in the gap, trying to make Kaz Brown spread out that block.
Taylor back to serve, 5-4 Orlando. The match for $1 million, a championship in the 2nd season of the Pro Volleyball Federation. Dug again by Scott. Good set in transition. Abercrombie out of the play. And Schwann able to come through on the outside.
Brittany Abercrombie picking up that little tip over the block. Indy Ignite trying to take her out of the play in transition. She picks it up. Shampoo pushes it fast to the pin, and there's a seam between those two Indy blockers.
That ball served just out of bounds by Schwann. Yeah, we talked about, we were joking. You usually try to take the left front attacker in women's volleyball, either collegiately or in the professional level out, but you got to adjust and take Abercrombie the heck out of there.
Yeah.
We'll have a technical timeout when a team reaches 6. Kaz Brown again.
Did she just say, call me?
She did. And like I said the other night, I love me some slide.
Yes, you do. Sliding into your heart, Paul. Look at Kaz Brown go off the hands of her.
That is so well executed. CeCe Crawford had no chance to get involved. That ball is down. Speaking of Crawford, nice adjustment. There are lots of ways to get the ball to the floor. That makes it 7-6. Again, 1 point away. There's a technical timeout when a team reaches 8 and when a team reaches 16. That's too easy to Schwann. And Vandewide comes through on the outside, and we come to the technical timeout. Orlando leading 2-1. We will step aside here at the Lee's Family Forum in Henderson, Nevada. The match for $1 million.
Concerned about high interest rates? Then you should know your FICO score. A higher FICO score can save you money by helping you secure better interest rates. At MyFICO, you get access to the score used by 90% of the top lenders. Get your FICO score for free at myfico.com/free or download the MyFICO app.
Welcome back to the Big Soleil Pro Volleyball Federation Championship, coming your way on the CBS Sports Network, proudly presented by Chase Sapphire. 4th set underway, Orlando leading 2-1 and 8-6 here in the 4th. Yep, there is the prize, but there should be that big check superimposed behind, because all the players and staff on the winning team will split a cool $1 million. Let's go over to Madison.
Look got a cool story for you guys. Coach Pageant coached the setter, Sydney Hilly, at Minnesota Select when she was 13 years old. And now 13 years later, they're sharing the court again. But Coach Pageant told me that within 10 seconds of seeing her set for the first time when she was 13, he knew she was going to be special. And it's been really cool to see her grow as a leader here today.
Thank you, Madison. Won a national championship at Wisconsin. And there was a time, I mean, she majored in genetics and genomics. I know what genetics is. Genomics, had no clue. And she was working in the medical field, but she's decided to really refocus entirely on volleyball and has a very, very bright future. I can do the math. 13 and 13 is 26, so she's just now coming into her prime.
Yes, she is.
There is Shampoo. What a battle. Positionally, between the setters, between the opposites. Abercrombie has been fantastic from the start. Ajani Teeler started well. A little bit of a dip and then really came flying back on in the third set. Very easy serve. Baird just gobbling that up. And then thrown down nicely cross-body by Martin.
Orlando trying to put two blockers in front of the middle attack from the Indy Ignite. They've been able to slow him, but the crossbody to the right back is working.
Lydia Martin, the 6'3" rookie middle blocker out of Oklahoma. Talk more about that K collar when we come back. To her side, Van de Weyde, a good slow there. And that ball is rejected. Foster out of the middle. I did it again. I called it the K collar. It's the Q collar.
I was going to correct you. I thought
K, Q. Well, it's very important. Had 5 concussions, has Lydia Martin, and that collar helps to improve circulation and prevent further concussion issues. That ball hit out of bounds, and George Pageant going to have to call a timeout. Another very important run. It's been back and forth runs, competing runs for Orlando and Indy. 11-7 at the timeout.
Offensive numbers for the Indy Ignite. After hitting 400 in the third set, they're hitting negative .071, and Orlando have responded. They're hitting 375.
Well, back and forth we go. Backs up against it for the Indy Ignite. Came in with a record of 13 and 15. Suffered a big midseason injury to Lecator member Menep. She's with the team now. One ankle injury caused her to miss the All-Star game in Indy. So if she could have possibly played at all, would have. And then subsequently and there she is in the middle of the huddle. Re-injured the ankle, and that knocked her out for the rest of the year. Had a fantastic collegiate career and off to a good start professionally, and was playing like an MVP in the early going. Wish her the very best for her complete recovery, and hope to see her again next year, year number 3 of the Pro Volleyball Federation. Indy again got to slow things down and make something happen side out coming out of the timeout, and you're back within 3. Long way to go.
And we talked about it earlier, but momentum is so crucial. You get some kills, some defensive stops, and then it's tied up again. So it gives Indy a chance to get back in this match, but you got to pass first.
Really good serve by Lindsay Van de Weyde. She's been good in defense, really good in reception, given the expectation.
And blocking well.
Yep. Van de Weyde has been really good. 5-1 run. Critical juncture now here in this championship match. Good response by Baird, and sprayed out of bounds. Boy, you don't see that very often from Teeler. Gonna have a challenge. What did you think, Holly?
Indy is challenging a net touch.
Okay, net touch, not a touch off the block.
I was going to say, I did not see a touch. Didn't look like Teeler made good hand contact on the ball. Looks like she's trying to go deep corner and just doesn't come over the top.
I think this is a really smart challenge by Coach Pageant, just to slow things down. I think the chances are 1 in 10 that there was a net violation. And there was. My goodness, I am wrong again. 1 in 10. And there it is.
There's that 1 in 10.
That's a big 2-point switch. Wonderful work, not only by Coach Pageant, but by his assistant coaches who are told to, you watch like a hawk. They earned their dough. 12-8. That was a big turnaround. Good pass by Scully. You don't want to serve her, especially not the spin serve. She gobbles that up. Baird, smart shot. Katie Baird just looking to make something happen, and she does.
Really tough play to make. That ball was coming from the back line, and Katie Baird able to get her feet under her to work it through the block.
The All-American outside attacker out of Stanford, 2019 national champion. Schwan will handle that no problem. One-on-one. Shampoo and Schwan. Is this a team sport or what?
Incredible. I mean, Shampoo knows exactly where Brittany Abercrombie wants that ball. You got to be up over the net quickly to block her, and Katie Baird's got the size. Just needs to be a little bit more aggressive with her hands. 23
kills on 56 swings. Another overpass.
Natalie Foster for Orlando Valkyries creating that opportunity.
Going to have another challenge. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. No more of this 1 and 10.
India is challenging a net touch.
Sydney Hilly is so good at the set, at the pass tight to the net. She's kind of spoiled her receivers. They got to back it off a little bit. I mean, she's human. She's not super, well, maybe she is superhuman, at least in that part of the game. So we have had a net touch as a challenge, and there it is.
Glad you didn't say
I didn't. Wow, that is really, really good work.
And Izzy Ashburn was one of the setters at Wisconsin. She's fast on that keypad for Indy Ignite, so give her some credit. 2 fast challenges in a row.
And I mentioned previously that our Bolt 6 crew was in their headquarters in Charlotte. I was wrong. Of course they're here in Las Vegas. Who wouldn't want to come to Las Vegas? Done a wonderful job all season long. Murr, Abercrombie again, one-on-one. You got to serve tougher than that. That was a lollipop.
Agreed. You have to serve tough. We want to disrupt the offense. This is not disruption. This is the Terminator play that they run to perfection.
Well, they've established Shampoo, and Orlando have established Kaz Brown, so it really makes at times easy for Abercrombie. Good play defensively, chance to extend the lead, and Schwan got a piece of the antenna out of bounds, just a small piece. That antenna sits right above the sideline. Any contact either off the attacker or off the block and into the antenna is immediately out of bounds. Big break for Indy. Ball cannot be saved by Elena Scott. We're going to have another challenge. You could hear somebody yell over, and we're going to have a challenge that was a violation of the 3-meter line.
Indy is challenging attack line fault.
Can challenge several foot faults, center line, 3-meter line, and the service line, along with touch off the block.
Indy thinks that Brittany Abercrombie stepped over that 3-meter line coming out of the back row.
Saw that from Ajani Teeler a couple of times in the semifinal. No, she's way clear. That was Shannon Scully's foot, the libero, that might have confused the coaches. Funny, Amy Pauley just looked over at George Padgett and said, it was close. Not really. It was not that close. 15-11 technical timeout coming when a team reaches 16. Oh, nice tip. That's away from Klicka as well. Cece Crawford right on the sideline.
Not easy to beat the libero at that ball short over the block.
Cece Crawford, very, very good blocker and having a good 8 of 18. That's a big bonus for Indy out of number 12 in light blue. Out of system, here to Van de Weyden. Oh, and got a pace of the block. Lindsay Van de Weyden has been very, very good. So positive for Orlando as we'll step aside. The match for $1 million, the championship of the Pro Volleyball Federation, continues on the CBS Sports Network.
From 6 races, absolutely amazing from Stanford!
And the service winner by Brown. You mentioned how effective she is from the service line, as well as voted the best player at her position.
Kaz Brown loves to be aggressive. Usually it's cross court, but this time going down the line, attacking Katie Baird of the Indy Ignite.
19 aces during the regular season for Kaz Brown, and misses that one. Let's go over to Madison.
No one is hanging their heads over there. They are fired up. Kylie Murr said, listen, if we're going to go out, we are going to go out swinging. And if I've learned anything from watching the Ignite all season long is you can never count them out.
Agree with that, Madison. They have had to deal, because of the injury situation, a lot of adversity and a lot of pressure down the stretch. Were they even going to get in the playoffs? What offense. That serve is too easy. And Shampoo conducting the orchestra.
Beautiful feed by Shampoo to Lindsay Vanderweider on that pin. Just fast pace. Really incredible kill.
Shampoo, part of the first team. Sydney Hilly, there were 2 setters on the first team. Couldn't decide between the 2, so they were both on the first team. Chaich with a pass, right side to Taylor, down the line. Dug by Klicka, and Vanderweider's got some space. That ball set a little bit tight, and free ball coming. Indy's got to have this. What a shot! Are you kidding me? How did that happen? All of the heat, and then you lose a pillow fight.
Teamwork makes the dream work. You see Shampoo look like Klicka collide, and then Courtney Schwann to the back corner, and it gets part of Katie Baird's leg.
Katie Baird and Elena Scott were there. Yes, that will go down as a kill, but Orlando now just 6 points away from the PVF championship here in Henderson, Nevada. Orlando beat Atlanta, the number 2 seed, in the semifinals on Friday, 3-1. Indy, the number 4 seed, came in with a record of 13-15. Took out the number 1 overall seed, the Omaha Supernovas, and they were the regular season champs, 3-2, 15-13 in the 5th.
Orlando preseason was picked to finish 2nd. So there were high expectations after a not so good season last year, but they're in it close to clinching.
Well, and then Orlando, when you talk about them in their season, they won 10 in a row, but you have to remember they started 5-6 and lost 3 in a row on a couple of occasions. They lost Georgia Murphy. That was a huge loss at the libero position, and had to deal with that, kind of bringing in a couple, bringing in a couple of players late, and really all credit to Amy Pauley. And Shannon Scully deserves some major props. She has stepped in. She's the receiver and gets things started at the offensive end for Shampoo and Orlando. Tight pass again. Abercrombie out of it, so going to Vanderweider. Oh, that's a tough chance. Right to Abercrombie.
You want to push that ball up to the net, but not that tight. That just had a direct line to the tape.
Indy is challenging a net touch.
So we'll have another challenge, and so far, other than the foot fault on the 3-meter line, Indy has been pretty darn good. I like this challenge. But back to Indy, they have overpassed 2 if not 3 balls, and now that was a tough chance, but you can't make that mistake. Make the mistake 10 feet off the net. Way
better to play that one safe.
Got to get a swing, because that was right in the big mitts of Brittany Abercrombie. 20-13, that is the largest lead here in the 4th set so far. This is the first challenge that has taken any time at all. Give you a chance to recap. Orlando won the opening set 25-21, second set 25-19. Wonderful bounce back by Indy, 25-19. They won the 3rd. Trailed 16-12 at the technical timeout. And they're taking a look at this one to see if there was a net fault on Orlando's Abercrombie. 26 kills on 59 swings. She scored 30 points. She's taken 59 of a total 123 swings. Ice bath, champagne, if they win this.
And a long rest. It's the end of the season.
Yep, long rest. Played the last several years in Korea and Turkey. and also won Athletes Unlimited earlier this year, sort of putting her stamp on a player to be dealt with, and she has been one all season long. This has taken a while.
Well, Brittany Abercrombie was a very good college player.
Yes.
She's gotten better every year as a pro and really rededicated herself to being the best that she can be, and it really shows in the way she handles her preparation for the game and how she takes care of her body.
Let's go over to Madison.
I just have to brag on Bolt 6 for a second. I'm standing behind the guy who's looking at probably 20 different angles of that shot, going through it moment by moment, really slow motion. They are really making sure that this point is accurate and that this point counts.
Thank you, Madison. There are the Bolt 6, one of the Bolt 6 cameras. I think there are 18 around the court. The whole number of areas where you can challenge. And the challenge system has been superb by Bolt 6 all season long, taking, usually 18, 20 seconds on average. Not sure what the issue is here. As Madison told us, taking a look at lots and lots and lots of angles.
Brittany Abercrombie's confused too.
Well, what matters is you get it right, particularly with so much on the line. And so that will stay as is, and Orlando now with a very, very comfortable lead, 20-13. 5-1 run now for Champu. Talked about how different this team is from last year when they went 8-16. You're looking at the two biggest differences, Champu and Brittany Abercrombie, as additions for the Valkyries.
She has been fantastic. Lindsay Vanderweyde, the left front blocker, is coming in to double up with Natalie Foster. Help on this quick middle attack, and she gets all of that one.
Vanderweyde with 8 kills, but that is her 5th scoring block. Flicka with the save. Must have, Teeler must have, and missed it out of bounds. This one is getting away. Orlando now just 3 points away from the Pro Volleyball Federation, the second ever title. Last year it was Omaha. $1 million to the winning team. Indy's got to stop this run right now. Vanderweyde, smart shot, no approach. That's the way to think it through.
For some reason, Indy Ignite have Elena Scott, who's the left back defender, trying to pick up that ball, and it's almost all the way on that right sideline.
Orlando got hot at the end of the season. They won 6 out of their last 7. Right back to the middle off a good pass to Lydia Martin.
Indy Ignite knew they wanted to get their middles going, but that adjustment, bringing that left front blocker in to help, has been very effective.
Mammoth hill to climb now for the Ignite, especially the way Orlando has been playing, save for that 3rd set. Abercrombie again.
Unstoppable. Brittany Abercrombie working inside the block to get them to match point.
Match point, championship point, $1 million point. The first for Orlando. Taylor over the top of the block and down.
Good aggressive swing. Indy took care of their pass, but big hill to climb. They need to serve the ball tough and make some defensive stops. You know the ball's going to Abercrombie.
Well, they've got Chaich back at the line. She can go on a run. Championship point number 2. They're going to get a look to Abercrombie for it all. Orlando wins the championship.